Hello everyone, this is DavidViadel23. Welcome to the Mandragon's Cave. So today we're gonna be talking about Nefertari Vivi from One Piece and how I think she is the Ancient Weapon Uranus. So, as you may see, if you're following the story at the moment, we are kind of recovering Vivi from a very long time without seeing her. And as we know, and I explained in the previous video talking about some of these topics as well, we have the story was planned just only for 5 years. So in theory, all the characters that we know from the very beginning are gonna be our endgame guys. So basically we're gonna be doing Karoo as well, because obviously doing Vivi we can't forget about Karoo, so it's gonna be kind of a double drawing today. With maybe it can be the video a little bit longer than normal, I don't know. Let's see how it ends up. Okay, something like this for the sketch could work. A little bit bigger here. We're gonna be making her sitting like in the famous pose in Whiskey Peak, when she kind of starts to get more importance with Igaram and the bounty hunters. So, as I was saying, we start knowing about the poneglyphs in Arabasta. That's the first poneglyph that we know. That's the introduction of Nico Robin. That's the introduction of Vivi as well in Arabasta plot. And the thing is, you have these characters representing Egyptian culture. You have everything in the desert. There's like everything there is like Egypt. The poneglyphs are as well like glyphs from that same area, and there's even some that we can't even decipher at this moment. So the thing is, she's coming back to the story, and I don't think there's a clear path, because with the whole story with the 20 kingdoms and the father dying, well, being killed now and everything, she is supposed to be the queen. So what we want, she's honorary Straw Hat, so what we want is for her to come back with the group. So what I see happening is the pharaoh in Egypt has this cobra symbol on top of the head, on top of the crown, and that's called mysteriously, coincidentally, is called Uraeus. Uraeus is this kind of cobra shape that is standing, and only the pharaoh can wear it. And at the same time, that's the symbol of the goddess Watchet. So Watchet is representing or depicted as a cobra. In this case, if you check online the logo and everything, the drawings is a winged cobra. So it's a coincidence that we have Vivi being a girl and at the same time always connected with this kind of animals. It's always with birds. Has a lot of a story with Karoo and the squadron of dogs that Karoo commands, and always together with him, always riding him. So the idea is, why would you have this type of animal connecting with this whole story? At the same time, why would you have her in the childhood flying as an animal, flying with Pell, transformed as an animal, as a falcon, as a hawk, around the desert, and the father doesn't want this to happen. So why you will have her in the fighting style, or the finishing doing peacock slasher to cut crocodile's head and everything. So they are kind of connecting this character to animal, and in this case to, let's do a little bit the face. I'm cartoony artist, so all my characters, as you will see, there are always gonna be more cartoony, more comic-y, and yeah, so let's do 1 second here. Let's do them out there a little bit. Like this, something like this. I know this moment of the story is not very happy, but I want to draw her smiling. She's been suffering so much lately in the comic and everything, and in the manga, in the anime, that it's not cool to see a character suffering that much. So let's do a little bit of a smile here. Let's do a little bit of. I really love this hairstyle that she has in Whiskey Pig. So it's gonna be something like this. It's really long hair in this part of the story. And later we will continue. We will paint it blue and everything. So what I was saying is, Vivi connection to Egypt and Egyptian culture, Egyptian mythology as well, and then we have this connection with the birds, with Karoo, with Pell. She's flying around all the time with Pell when she's a kid. The father doesn't want her to do that, kind of, it's very dangerous. And now the story continues, everything continues, and what is happening with her is that she becomes queen with bad luck because the father died. So she had to escape, and mysteriously at the same time we have him wanting to capture her. Why would you want her to, well, her, we don't know what is Imo, but why would you want Imo to capture Vivi? Because there is something going on there that they are not telling us yet. And a very important part of the story that we are missing at the moment is the ancient weapons. So basically, Uranus, as I explained before, Uraeus is the symbol of the cobra on top of the pharaoh crown. So represents a deity, female, that is Wadjet, and this Wadjet is connected to serpent, cobra, serpent with wings from ducks and falcons and everything. And I think that's representing Vivi. So basically, we have this whole Greek mythology about Uranus, and Uranus is the personification of the sky. Okay, what happens with these animals as well, that they fly, and they are always flying or in water. And whole Arabasta saga, it's about ducks, Egyptians, and not having water there. So there's a very similar two things happen in the story when we have Shirahoshi. Shirahoshi, she kind of let's say awakens this mysterious power that we don't know what is it until we realize she's an ancient weapon. And when the mom dies, she goes into this kind of panic attack state, and basically she calls the sea monsters. Where do we see this in Arabasta? At the end of the story, when the bomb is taken from the tower clock and the Pell flies and explodes, and the battle stops for a moment, but it doesn't stop. So she starts crying, she goes into despair and starts shouting, and suddenly we have rain falling. Mysteriously we have rain falling. Uranus is supposed to be it represents so the translation from the Greek and ancient writings, one of the translation is rainmaker or rain falling, Uranus. So a lot of connections are coming together with these comparisons with Egyptian mythology and history, Greek mythology and history as well. So we have another important thing I wanted to say, to put together in all of this, the Gorusei, that we know that they reveal the names, and in the ancient Greeks and Romans know only 5 wandering stars, they used to call it, and that was the planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn. And then they discovered another one after a while, and the guy who discovered this named it after George III, the king. But another astronomer, talking about this and talking about the names, decided to, well, he said, I think it's better if we call it Uranus, because if you follow the previous names, that all of them come from this kind of gods, Greek gods, etc., etc., they went for Uranus. So after the Gorusei, after the 5 planets, when they were discovered, we have the Uranus, that in theory I'm saying that is gonna be Vivi. Let's do a little bit here, this kind of funny hat that he has, like this. We don't want to do the whole thing, so we're gonna be a little bit of 3/4 head like this, so it's gonna be like just showing the corner, and then gonna be this funny hat. I love this outfit from Karu. It's really funny. It reminds me always to Usopp and the funny hats and things that they always draw for Usopp. So, as I was saying, a lot of comparison, a lot of references from different mythologies from the world. Oda is really fan of mythology and really fan of Viking mythology as well. Now we know we're gonna go to Elbaf. Yggdrasil, I think if you see my previous video, is gonna be representing the massive tree that we find in Elbaf, that is confirmed that there's a tree there. That's the same tree of the Adam tree to create the Frankie bought the let's do this circle here as well. Frankie bought the wood and Tom as well from this tree to build the Sunny and the Oro Jackson. So that's gonna be a really important reference, and it's gonna have to connect with everything in the story. If you read a little bit of Nordic mythology as well, we have this tree called Yggdrasil that is holding all the realms of in the Nordic mythology, like Midgard, etc., etc. And on top of this the tree, there's an eagle that in theory has no name, and on top of the head of the eagle there's a falcon. Do we know a falcon so far? Yes. The protector, Pel. And before I was talking a little bit about the tower clock and the bomb and everything happening there, and then it starts raining, and you say, okay, no, it stops raining there because Luffy at the same time defeated Crocodile, and yeah, he was defeated there, and that's the reason. And I can say, okay, if you are telling me that Crocodile is using the awakening, and with the awakening he is able to stop the rain from falling, etc., I would say good, we're good to go. That theory is totally okay. But we don't have any confirmation about Crocodile using Awakening, and what we know is that he was using this powder called dance powder, and this dance powder would collect the clouds, the rain clouds from other places around the area, and with this he would make only rain in the capital. So that created the fights and Kosa, and everyone started a revolution there, and the whole story about Arabasta if you see in the comic. So basically we know that that's not possible. I mean, it is not confirmed in any way that because Luffy defeated the crocodile, this stopped. So when she cried and she was in a lot of distress, this happened. So I think, as we see in Shirahoshi being in distress and calling the Sea Kings to help her unconsciously, I think because the whole saga until the point of the bomb, she was in distress, Vivi was in distress, she called a bird, a massive bird, and it came flying from Elbaf, from the top of Elbaf, unconsciously, she is unconsciously doing this thing, and we have then this rain falling. I think this animal is going to be connected to the rain, as Uranus, as we can see in the Greek mythology, is representing the sky and connected to the name of Rainmaker. So let's do this line for the barrel. This is really funny thing always as well that I liked for Karoo having this. So as you see, some of the pieces of the story start to fall in together with these kind of things that I'm mentioning about Greek mythology and other types of mythologies from the world. And now let's do this. Supposed to be the body goes like down like here. We will do a little bit of a saddle here so she can actually sit. This second leg goes like this a little bit, and let's do the arm to hold. Yeah, something like this. And now in his saddle. Just a second line. Give it a little bit of volume and the space here. Yeah, a little one there. And the legs for Karoo. So all these things pointing to Vivi being Uranus, I think they are gonna be defined in Elbaf with the Yggdrasil, Adam tree, and the Nordic mythology of the story. So this one as well, like this. Yeah. Like this, yeah, okay. How to do the nails a little bit as well. Okay, so they are gonna, Vivi is honorary Straw Hat, we know, all of us know this already, so they are gonna be giving her more importance. I think how she was in Little Garden with us, and she's gonna be tied in really nice with the whole story of the giants in Elbaf, and we are gonna have her with us already in Elbaf, or meeting in Elbaf with her 100%. So she needs to see Dorian Broggie, and we want to have cross-guild references as well from the whole story that happens in Little Garden. And there's different ways to, we know, we find this poneglyph in the sky, when we go to the sky, and the poneglyph there is saying, okay, there is an ancient weapon, and the ancient weapon is located in Gyojin Island. In Gyojin Island we have everything together. We have Shirahoshi, we have the Sea Kings, and we have Noah. I think that's the three parts that you need to be the ancient weapon and reference. So then Crocodile is looking for the ancient weapon Pluton. But Pluton, when we find the poneglyph in the story, it's saying in Arabasta it's saying Pluton, it is in Wano. And then when we go to Wano with Sukiyaki, Oden's father, Nico Robin and Lo walk to the under Wano, the old Wano, and we discover actually that, yeah, Wano is there, old Wano is there, and the ancient weapon is sleeping there, sleeping in I understand it's making reference to a beast, like we are gonna have always a beast, always a person who can control or befriend these beasts, be the king of these beasts, and then we are gonna have a ship, some sort of ship or transport to the animal to carry it, like Noah. So they grab all the Gyojins inside Noah and they pull them to the surface. So I think that's what is going to be happening. And let's change a little bit thicker so we can paint a little bit this, the back part, the tail. So I think now we need to find another gray poneglyph, not red ones, a gray one, telling us that the ancient weapon Uranus is going to be in Arabasta. And with that I mean, let's do a little bit of like it is coming out from here. With that we are going to have Vivi, that is supposed to be from Arabasta. We are going to have the beast, that is going to be in Elbaf. I'll explain you in a second why it's going to be in Elbaf. And we need a ship or some sort of thing there as well. That Crocodile thought that Pluton, there was a massive ship, battleship, buried in Arabasta, but he never found it. But this can be true still. So going back a little bit in time, we have this, let's put a little bit of color now, oops. Going a little bit back in time to Crocodile and Vivi Saga in Arabasta, we have, as you see the previous video, he's there, he's doing Utopia, he wants to find the weapons, etc. and everything. And he has a lot of information, we don't know from where, probably the world government and the Gorosei put him up to that. Please go and check my previous video and we'll see a little bit more of detail in this kind of idea that I have about Crocodile. But he wasn't wrong, and what I mean with that video is he wasn't wrong, and the Gorosei wasn't wrong. There was actually an ancient weapon in Arabasta that was Vivi Uranus. And an important thing is that during the whole story, 25 years ago, we have Roger going around. Roger is going around with the Oro Jackson, and it has a massive egg in the ship. We don't know anything about that egg, and it is so funny and so important, I think, for the story, that they're gonna have to reveal what is that sooner or later. I think he knew all the story, and he had the egg of the ancient weapon. I think that's gonna be a massive bird, or a basilisk-like, let's say, snake, bird. I would go for the idea of a roc, because roc, it's a giant eagle that is represented in Nordic mythology and is represented as well in Arabian mythology. You have this kind of massive eagle transporting in a bird cage people up and down. So I think that can easily be the solution. But with the whole story with the snakes and the Egypt, maybe they can Oda can go for a basilisk-looking snake with wings, kind of Nola from Sky Island and everything. It will work totally fine. I think, in my opinion, it will work totally fine. But what is happening is Roger had this egg, and when in chapter 0 that is made for the movie but is canon, we have the battle of Edward, that Shiki is with a massive fleet of ships is fighting. Is gonna fight Gold Roger, and mysteriously we have he's carrying the egg. He says, "Oh, together we can conquer the world, because you know the location of one of the ancient weapons." It can be Shirahoshi, because it is not born yet. It can be Pluton. Another video will explain about Pluton in Wano. So the only last option that can be is that he had in that egg Uranus, or offspring of Uranus, and yeah. So he, knowing all the story, because he traveled the world again, the whole thing, to proper understand the story, to become the king of the pirates, to knew the story about the 100 years and everything. So he knew everything. And what I'm saying with this is, he moved the location of the weapon so no one else could find it, because they were too early. He says a couple of times, "Oh, so sad that we are too early. My son will find the thingy, and he will be the chosen one, blah 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 and everything." But yeah, that never happened at the end. But the thing is, he knew everything, so he took that piece of history. And moved it to another place, so only the correct person could find it. In this case, Nico Robin and the Luffy's crew. And yeah, so that's not anymore in Arabasta. That's gonna be now in Elbaf. She is gonna reconnect with this beast. Let's call it Air King. It's gonna reconnect with this Air King, being a rock probably with a reptilian look and wings, etc. And they are gonna fly to Arabasta, and I think Imu wants to kill her or capture her already, because Vegapunk is replicating mechanically. There are 3 weapons that are mechanical, and Pluton from Water 7, the blueprints from Frankie, that's a mechanical battleship, because Iceberg is explaining in when they talk about the blueprints there at the end of the Water 7 saga. He says, "Oh, this was created as a measure to fight back the weapons." So that means there's 6 weapons, original ones that they are Shirahoshi, etc. And then you have the mechanical ones created to stop these massive beasts, created by the world government, and they won. In theory, they won. That's why they are the rulers and the kings now, and the Terrobitos are controlling everything. So yeah, let's we need to paint a little bit the beak as well with black. I missed this bit here. Yeah, so she's gonna go, I think she's in Elbaf, she's gonna reunite with this bird, and I think Yggdrasil, the Adam tree, is gonna fall, and I check my other video to see all the explanation for this, is gonna fall, and she's gonna be the person rescuing everyone from the Sky Islands, because I think the Sky Islands are connected to with this pyro something, it's called pyro something, volcano created. When the volcanoes underwater create this substance, the Sky Islands are created, and this, all of that needs to be connected. So I think when the tree is falling, she's gonna have to be flying with this beast and picking up everyone from the islands to save them, because you know they will fall in the water and they will die. So yeah, let's paint as well, so I don't forget to do this, the barrel here. I'm gonna do full on in brown. So let's see here. There is as well there's some in mythology. There's as well a story about the Ophis Pterodos, like a monster. It's a winged serpent, connecting with the whole story about Vivi and the goddess I was talking before and everything. And it's supposed to be a serpent with a two pair of wings that is guarding the groves of Arabia. So Arabasta, Arabia, Egypt, desert, monsters, so all is kind of coming together in this sense, and kind of, I think Oda pieced all this story from many mythologies, because he's really fond of mythology, and especially Egyptian and Nordic. So yeah, and it shocked me to find all the information some time ago about the Uraeus, this symbol on top of the the symbol on top of the head of the pharaoh, that only the pharaoh can have, not anyone else can have it. So not any other people can have it. It's only him. So it's really shocking to me that Uraeus is really similar to Uranus, and as we know in Japanese, sometimes in English they translated these letters, and they do games with the letters and as well with the numbers, with the numerology. So I think Oda is using this funny aspect of this game of changing letters for Uraeus, Uranus from Greek mythology, and all of them making reference to the same person, that in this case is our Vivi, that is our honorary straw hat, and Karu, obviously, and all of this connected always with serpents, and all of this always connected to, we already seen a basilisk in Impel Down, so already connected to birds and snakes and being gods. All the time it's being gods. So in the Sky Island they worship Nola and Kashi because they are gods and supposed to be the sun god. They call Nola the sun. Kashi, they call it the sun god. And then we realize that it's Luffy. But all of these things need to be connected in the same sense. So yeah, I think we need a little bit of black. I always like to add, like here for example with the clothes, to give a little bit of volume, and to the coat as well, so to differentiate a little bit this part here. And yeah, so I'm gonna be posting, I think, a couple of ideas more about the ancient weapons, because there's a lot of talk regarding as well Pluton, and I think the information that Crocodile had given by the government, it wasn't his original plan. I think that was all planned by by the government first of all, and then he decided to take advantage of the situation and have the weapon for himself, but they didn't have wrong information. I think Vegapunk, as I was saying before that I started talking about other topic and I jumped a little bit, but I was saying before, Vegapunk has done his mother flame, and this mother flame is fueling this kind of thing used to destroy Lulusia, a thing that flies and is kind of using weather related or electrical related things to destroy. And I think Uranus, the beast, this flying beast, is going to be able to do something similar. And what Vegapunk is using is blueprints from the ancient time, like Pluton, to recreate this for the government, because the government says so. And at the same time, how they test it in Lulusia, because they said, do it in Lulusia, and this is a test. How they said this is working, basically, there is no need of Vivi anymore. They need to capture her, this replica of Ancient Weapon, that is Uranus, worked, and they actually don't need her. So that's, I think that's why they want to capture her. So it's not a liability, and she can't revive or use the real one, in fact. So I think that's why they want to capture her, and I think that's the thing that is gonna kind of make this whole bomb of apocalypses explode and make Luffy etc. involved in the story, because they are gonna reach to her while she is in Elba. Probably she's gonna have this panic or this attack of anxiety, and it's gonna release this kind of Haki energy to control the beast. The beast is gonna come and help her, and she's gonna fly away. I think she's gonna go to Arabasta on her own, and so we will have this kind of storyline explaining things, or maybe taking Robin with her, I don't know, but we will see like a change in everything, and the pace of One Piece I think is gonna change a lot now that we are reaching the end of the story. And yeah, feel free to leave your comments here below if you think that it can be a good idea, or if not, or if I'm being too crazy with these things, or yeah, so we have a little bit of chat and a little bit of discussion about what's going on in One Piece at the moment. As you see, these two latest videos are Ancient Weapons related. I think a lot of this information is going to be coming out soon, with Egghead going to Elbaf, Vivi appearing again in the story, and these whole things about the birds and everything. So feel free to drop your comments and we can talk about it. I'm going to be more than happy to talk about whatever you comment there, and yeah, let's investigate a little bit what's going on and what can happen with this. Yeah, I really like this kind of theory and this really kind of concept, because it's kind of putting Vivi more into the group, into the Straw Hats, and at the same time you are explaining things about the world and about the culture and about the 20 Kingdoms and the Void Century. That's what we want. So yeah, feel free to drop your ideas and we can talk about it. And yeah, I think more or less we are done with the drawing. We have Vivi here, and I think I'm gonna do a little bit of, you know, erasing here so we don't have these random lines. I like to, this one I will leave it, because I like to see and to show that this is kind of traditional done in the traditional way. And we need to do a little bit, I want to make some color, because this is very small, but it's a hand and that's another hand, and then that's the face a little bit as well. And yeah, okay, and now yes, paint it a little bit too black there, but we can do this. Okay. So thanks everyone for watching. This is DavidViadel23, DavidViadel23. You can say it as you want. DavidViadel23 as well. This is my Vivi and the Uranus Ancient Weapon video. I hope you guys liked it, and yeah, thank you very much for watching. DavidViadel23, and this is the Mandragon's Cave. Thank you. Bye.